Welcome, everybody, to episode 2 of the Conversion Therapy Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jordan Bajwa.
Are we really doing the co-host thing every episode?
We have to introduce ourselves.
Yeah, but we should just be more like familiar or like more comfortable. I feel like people wouldn't start on like the second episode.
Dude, every podcast I've ever listened to, I've never started at the first episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
You just like, you come across it, and you're like, oh, what's going on here?
Wait, did you say your last name?
Yeah. Because remember, you said it's going to be on our socials anyways.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm your other co-host, Justin.
Are we going to edit that out or no?
Edit what out?
All that blabber in between?
No, we don't need to do that.
Okay. So, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, you're here because you liked the first episode. But if you just stumbled upon us, we're glad you stumbled upon us.
Yeah, because apparently people don't start podcasts at the first episode.
The only podcasts I start at the first episode are the ones I'm like really hardcore about. Then I'll go through them all.
I think the only podcasts that I've started at the first episode are like the mandatory ones from high school that like we literally needed to be in class for to start the first episode, like Serial. But yeah, I mean, I don't really listen to podcasts.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I'm judging you.
Why?
We're doing a podcast and you don't even like listening to podcasts?
Well, if Grey's Anatomy was a podcast, I would listen to a podcast. If Family Guy was a podcast, I would listen to a podcast.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Actually, I would probably listen to Serial again. I think that's a pretty good one.
Okay. Anyways, so today most of our topics are just sort of current events, what's going on right now. So the first thing we're going to talk about is we want to dive into the Gabby Petito case.
Period.
So maybe I'll just give a quick rundown because me and you were kind of talking off camera and we wanted to like just a quick synopsis of everything that happened. So I watched this video that sort of laid everything out. So I guess her and Brian Laundrie, he had proposed to her and she had said yes, but they had been going through like a bunch of they're having a bunch of relationship problems. And apparently the rumor was that the engagement was called off before they went on this cross-country road trip, right? So I heard that it was called off, but the mother of Gabby said that apparently Brian was still kind of talking like he was talking like my wife, my fiance, my fiance, my fiance, and her mom was kind of like, it doesn't sound like that's a thing anymore. And it didn't. I don't think they were breaking up, but the engagement had been called off. So basically, what happened is they.
Oh my God! You did not just like crash.
Spent the most time in Utah. They went to
wait, Jordan, wait. You crashed for a little bit.
Oh shit!
You're literally just looking off into space. You were like, and so they.
It just said my internet connection is unstable. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back now.
Okay. So where did it cut out?
It was after you were pointing out how like he was still talking about, or he was still talking as if they were like married.
Okay. So yeah, they left. So they went on their cross country trip. I think they went to a bunch of different states. They spent the majority of their time in Utah. There was like, so you could follow kind of where they were on her social media, because whenever they go to like a new landmark, she'd post a photo. There was one point where she didn't post for 12 days and then she posted again and they were still in Utah. So the whole publicized thing happened where apparently they were having breakfast at a restaurant and Gabby was seen like uncontrollably crying at the table. So somebody called the cops. The cops caught up with them and did a welfare check. I guess when they lit the van up with their lights, Brian hit the curb and he was speeding apparently. And so he says, and I watched the body cam video, he says that they kind of have the same story. So apparently when the lights came on, she grabbed the wheel and she started hitting him, she said, and that's why he hit the curb. But their story was kind of weird, like when they got pulled over. Anyways, after that, the cops separated them for a night. He went to a hotel. She stayed in the van. I think they got back together. But then the weird thing is that, and I don't know if you know about this, but he went home and then he came back. Did you hear about that?
Oh, he went home and came back to like to her?
So he went home, like he flew home, I think. and he was either moving stuff in or moving stuff out of their storage locker. So what they're saying is, they're saying what's going to be really crucial to the case is if the police can identify whether or not that was planned or not, or if he just kind of did that on his own. Is that, I don't know, that's fishy if that wasn't planned as part of the trip.
Yeah.
And then so he came back. Apparently they got back together, or they met up again. I mean, and then he left. He ended up, and this is where no one knows what happened. So he left for the last time without her. But the thing that's really weird about it is, apparently there was a bunch of people. Like there was these one people and that picked him up as a hitchhiker, and they were taking him to, they call it Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And it sort of seems like he wanted an alibi because he paid them $200 for the ride, which they said they would give him for free as they kind of go in there anyways. It's kind of like, and apparently like he was kind of conducting himself as if he wanted to be remembered. Like it was kind of like, I want you to know that I was here and you were taking me here on this day.
Yeah, I remember when like it first came out, and it was like instantly like breaking news worldwide. Everyone knew about it. And then like police came out with a statement, and they were like, you know, like Brian's under investigation, but he's only a POI, a person of interest. And it was really confusing because like, I feel like if that were any other different situation, he would just be a prime suspect. Like he was the person that was last seen with her. They both went on a trip and he came home by himself. Like I'm like lost. Like I'm just like, I still have no, and I feel like if they would have labeled him as a prime suspect, they would have gotten this case solved, considering like, as he's a person of interest, he doesn't have to really go in for questioning. Like he can optionally choose not to, and that's his right. And like I remember I think the neighbors of his parents were filming them because they thought they saw something. So apparently they were in their garden or whatever, and there's like a little dirt section in the part close to their neighbor's fence. And so their neighbor was filming them, and it looked like they were giving something to someone or something under the dirt. And as soon as they kind of looked up, I don't know if the neighbor made a sound or whatever, and as soon as they looked up and saw that they were being filmed, they basically like instantly were like, oh fuck, and they like sped walk back to their like to their entrance back to their house. And so that was really like, I mean, that was really, I don't know if like the police have like done an investigation into that or questioned his parents at all. But yeah, that whole situation confuses me because, I mean, I haven't seen if they've labeled like any other people as people of interest, but like that was just so like, as soon as I read that, I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense at all. And then yeah, recently her autopsy revealed that she had died of manual strangulation.
Strangulation, yeah.
And I have no idea if they've even like done any like investigation into that video or into his parents. Hopefully they have, but I haven't read anything that they have, so I don't think they have, or they haven't released like an official statement about it. But yeah, that whole case is just like, I feel like there's so many places that that like the investigation just went wrong. Like I sincerely don't know why he wasn't initially a prime suspect. I feel like in any other case he would have been. Like it just doesn't make any sense for him not to be. Yeah. And I don't even think like, I can't remember what they said in terms of him being a person of interest instead of a prime suspect, because I think now he's a prime suspect. Yeah, but like that, I don't know, that shit just does not make any sense to me at all, especially with like him having interactions with police before, like you said, with this incident like at their traffic stop. Like this wasn't like the first time that something like this with him was reported.
Well, the police that are looking for him, they kind of condemned like the whole, like how that whole traffic stop was handled without outwardly doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of said like, they asked them, they're like, well, should police have intervened more than they did? And they said, well, look, we're not here to criticize officers' past behavior. Like what happened. So kind of, because the reasoning that I heard was that the police that pulled them over said that they deemed it was a mental health issue, not a policing issue. But what people are saying is like, why can't it be both? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Because so Gabby said that, like, Gabby was kind of taking all the fault for it. She said she said, she goes, I have OCD, and she goes like, I want things a certain way, and like, so it's sort of, she made it seem like she was freaking out on Brian for like not for doing or not doing something that she wanted him to do.
Yeah.
But then later she also says that like he goes, the cops ask her if he hit her, and she goes, well, he didn't like hit me, so like that doesn't sound good either.
Was she from Wyoming, or was her body found in Wyoming?
Her body was found in Wyoming. Um, and then the other thing I was going to say, yeah, and then the other thing that makes him look guilty is as soon as he went home the last time without her, he retained legal like right away.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, that his lawyer put out a statement.
Mm-hmm.
But have you heard like Dog the Bounty Hunter's looking for him?
Yes, I saw the video. That's so like, yeah, that's
He thinks he's in the Appalachians.
really.
Yeah.
What did he say? Why he thinks that?
I didn't watch the whole video, but he had a reason, and he said that'd be a good place to start.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't even know that. I just remember seeing the video, like, I'm coming for you or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that should be interesting. I wonder if they'll like reboot a series if they find him. I wonder if they're like filming it, and then like if they find him, like they're gonna like put it as like an extra episode of Dog the Bounty Hunter, or like a documentary type thing. A dogumentary. Oh my god. That was my friend's old name on Minecraft. Dogumentary.
That's actually pretty witty.
But like imagine that becomes like a thing.
Yeah.
And she like started it, and that was like 4 years ago.
The other thing was too is this was as of 2 days ago when I did my research, but they still haven't issued a countrywide like bolo for him, which I think is kind of weird.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really weird. I wonder, like, did you ever used to watch like America's Most Wanted?
Sometimes, yeah.
Do you think that he would be on that?
Oh, probably. I mean, no, you know what? Probably not, to be honest with you. Because aren't those like criminal masterminds and like serial killers?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a high profile case, but like, I don't think he's up there with like the top 5 most wanted in the country.
Is it always like 5?
I think it's like 5 or 10, and it's always like I remember the people. They're like sinister. Like it's like killed 20 people. Like yeah.
Yeah. I've only watched like a few episodes when I was like really really young, but yeah, that shit was interesting. Not in like the best way, but I don't know, TV shows like that are like, because like I'm very into like criminal based like fiction TV shows like Criminal Minds or CSI or whatever. Like they can be based on true stories and often are inspired by them. But anytime it's just pure nonfiction reality and it's like criminal based or crime based, like true crime, that shit's like that's candy. I remember like literally every day at work, I would just be watching true crime on end, and the only time I would pause it is if I had to take a call. And now I'm watching incest videos that pop up on my recommended.
Oh, is that why you made that snap the other day?
Yes. My naughty brother sneaks into my room. Gay romance. Okay, maybe I'll watch. It wasn't worth it. It literally was. I couldn't get over it. Like the acting was horrible. One of the actors was attractive in like the couple, but like the fact that even if it's fiction, the fact that that like they're brothers in the show is so like unsettling, and it's just completely off-putting. It makes you so uncomfortable. And like I thought that like it would be like a storyline where like it's like I don't know how many minutes the video was. I wasn't really paying attention, but I thought it would be like a storyline throughout where it's like, oh, like they had their first kiss here and like this is their story. No, bitch, the only kiss came at the end of the video. So I'm like, where's the thumbnail? Like, what did I come here for? I actually don't really know what I came, because I literally clicked it because I'm like, okay, this seems kind of hot. And then I noticed the name after, and I was like, oh, I'm still going to watch it, but like, oh, that's really weird. But yeah, no, it was really hard to get into. I was just like, I couldn't do that. You should watch it though. I'll send you the link.
No, I'll pass.
It's either that or fucking Firebird.
I'll watch Firebird.
Will you?
Yeah, I'll watch Firebird.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
One conspiracy theory too that I heard about, and I don't think this is really valid anymore. No, it's definitely not. But one of the early conspiracy theories was that Gabby and Brian had orchestrated this whole thing because for her social media and because she was just starting a blog.
Oh, I heard about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, like she had just started a blog, and they only ended up posting one episode because she was doing it when she was on this trip. But yeah, that was like an early conspiracy theory.
Because wasn't she initially reported missing?
Yes.
And then, yeah, that's that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But yeah, then they found her body and everything. And then it was like, oh, okay, never mind. Maybe not.
Yeah, and then I watched the press conference that the coroner had, and it's like it was so painful because he was supposed to answer questions, but like really there's only a certain amount of like there's only one thing he's allowed to say like by state law. So like he's like it's ruled a homicide and death by strangulation, and people are like asking him like, is there any other bruises? Blah blah blah. Blah. He's like, look, I'm only allowed to say there's three modes of death I'm allowed to say: homicide, accidental, act of God. He's like he's like or it's homicide, natural, act of God. And he said, like, that's all I'm allowed to say. It's a homicide, strangulation. People kept asking him questions. I'm like, why are you taking questions? Like,
Wait,
why?
Act of God, is that like a fucking hurricane?
Yeah, if like, yeah.
Oh, like a natural disaster.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I was like, wait, is that like, oh my God, like Satan, we're gonna kill you, like fucking exorcism? I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Because you said natural after, and then I was like, oh, you mean natural, like natural death, like old age?
Yeah, yeah, like you die in your sleep or something.
Or like, is cancer? What would cancer be?
I would imagine that would probably be natural.
Yeah, because cancer is natural. I mean,
yeah, because even like theoretically, think about this: like if you die in your sleep and you have a heart attack, right? Because you have heart disease, like that's not really natural, but like I bet you they're going to classify that as natural.
Okay, we had a thing. I used to go to daycare. Fun fact, and it was a Christian daycare. Whoa, right? Anyway, I think there was a young boy, and he passed away due to cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And we had like a memorial for him, and like there were pictures posted and whatever. And I don't think I ever met this boy. I think I don't know what the whole thing was, but we were basically, I think there was like a rumor around that he had died in his sleep, and I was so scared to go to bed for like the next month.
How old were you? How old was he?
I think he was 11, and I think I was like 7 or 8.
Mm. Yeah, that makes sense. I'd probably be the same way.
I was so scared to go to bed. I'm like, I'm literally going to die in my sleep. Like, I'm going to die.
Did you know that he had cancer? Did you know what that meant?
I don't think they told us about any like thing related to cancer.
Oh, it was just like he died in his sleep?
Like, we knew that he had passed. We just didn't know how. And then that rumor went around. And like, I was like, I don't know if like other people took it seriously, but I was so scared to go to bed. Cause like, girl. But yeah, now I dream all the time about like apocalypses and like falling off of bridges and like jumping off planes. And then, yeah. But yeah, no, that shit was scary. I don't think it was until like I was in, or like, cause like, I think we had to leave daycare after grade 6, or they had like a cap to how old you could be while you were in daycare. And I think I was in grade 6 when I found out that he had passed due to cancer. Which I don't think like I was thinking the same way about like dying in my dreams anymore. But I was like, oh, okay, then I wonder why like we were told otherwise. It was kind of really weird. I also don't remember who started the rumor, if it was like another kid or if it was like,
a rumor. It wasn't like they told you explicitly.
No. It was like, yeah, it was a rumor that went around. I don't remember if it was like a kid that started it or if it was just like one of like the guardians or teachers that was kind of like just messing around, which that would be kind of fucked up if it was.
It would be.
It really would be. I miss daycare because like every summer we would have like a planned trip per day or like a planned event per day, like Monday through Friday. Saturday, Sunday would be at home. And I think Saturday, Sunday we were at home. Yeah, I wouldn't see it because like we were only there because like my parents worked. But I remember I started a rumor that 2 of our teachers were dating or like that they liked each other. And it was a joke. I'm like 8. I'm like, oh my God, you guys like each other. And like the one guy, he was hot as shit. He was probably like the intro to me realizing that I'm a homosexual. But like he was very, very attractive. But the other girl, like I was like really close to her. Like we would always like, talk to each other. And like I stayed late quite a bit of times because like my dad would come and pick us up late. And, like we lived in like New West and he would work late hours and whatever. And I like started the rumor. It was a full on joke. And then I guess like it got to everyone. Then it got back to them. And the teacher freaked out at me. Like the female teacher, she freaked out at me. And she was like, why are you saying? I'm just like, it's literally like a joke. Like, bitch, I feel like the only reason you're getting this mad is because you actually have feelings for him. Like, calm down. Like, I don't. And then I think I got in trouble or whatever. And I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, just tell me to stop talking about it and I'll stop talking about it. And if you feel a certain way about other people talking about it, then bitch, host a meeting and then just be like, hey, like, I don't really like you guys talking about it. Like,
Sidebar, you could not pay me enough to take care of a child version of you.
no, you couldn't pay me enough to take care of a child. A child, period. I don't care if that's the most well-behaved child on earth that will sleep through the 6 hours that I'm there with it. I will not do it.
See, you know what I couldn't do is like if my child like shit their diaper, like can't. Like this ain't happening.
Same.
Dude.
If my child like got out of bed, I'm like, nope, get back in. I don't care. And it's like, it's 4 p.m. I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. Get back in. Like, I'm still sleeping. You'll wake up when I wake up at 1 a.m. Then we can go outside and we can have a walk. But yeah, no, I couldn't do that. I could do a dog, not do a dog. I could have a dog and a cat. Actually, do you want like pets or besides Franck, obviously? Are you going to get another pet if you like wanted?
Yeah, I kind of want another dog.
Yeah. I really want to have like at least 2 dogs, probably 2 or 3, and then a cat. But like, obviously like really well behaved. And thank God this got brought up. I have had so many friends or like family that are like, oh no, like when we're when we're not home, like the dog goes in like a cage or like, and when we're home, all the dog does is just lay down. It can't move. Bitch, don't have a dog.
That's super common, you know.
I know. And it pisses me off.
My sister does that.
It makes me so mad. Like, your dog should be trained well enough to not be
that's
stationary in a cage.
That's not always the case. That's not always the case.
Well, then what's it needed for?
No, but like sometimes your dog, like a lot of dogs, if you're not home, they're destructive, right? They'll eat your shoes. They'll like do whatever.
Well, then they're not trained well.
Maybe.
And then like when you are home and you treat them like that, I'm just like, what? Like, bitch, if I'm home and I have a dog, I'm like dropping everything to do, like to fucking like pet the dog, to cuddle with the dog.
Oh, 100%.
To make sure the dog is always with me, to take the dog out on a walk. Like that dog will not, like, I will not let it leave my side. If it wants to go up and get food, I'll be like, no. We'll get food when I'm hungry.
You don't strike me as an animal person, to be honest with you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I fucking love animals. Well, okay. No, yeah, I'd say animals. I love cats. Even like the like bad cats, I still love.
I don't like cats.
Like my grandma's cat is like extremely like bad and not trained well, but like her name's Molly. I also don't know if she's still alive. I haven't seen her in a long time. But like I would like Molly fucking loves me. All the time I would go outside. She's like an outdoor, like we don't really pay attention to where she is. Majority of the time she's outdoors. So like at night I'll go outside and then she'll like peek her head out and come to me, and like she's never really rowdy with me, and I'm just like, that's why. But yeah, no, I love dogs and I love cats.
Before we go too far off topic, I wanted to one thing I wanted to mention is when the cops pulled over Gabby and Brian, he described her state as manic.
Okay.
And a lot of people are trying to read into that because they don't know if, like, you know how you'll say, like, when somebody's freaking out, you'll say somebody's manic, but you don't actually mean that they're manic, like bipolar manic.
Yeah.
So they're saying that like was he being literal? Was he not? Yeah, that's an interesting plot twist too.
Were they both found to be like sober?
Yeah, they said. So they said, "Have you been drinking?" to Gabby, and Gabby said, "No, we don't drink." Yeah, but she was hysterical.
She probably was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna die."
Oh yeah. Oh shit. He had okay. So then when they were talking to him, I noticed his face was kind of fucked up. Okay, so he had like scratches and shit like here on the side of his face, and the cop said, "What are those scratches on your face?" He goes, "Yeah, she hit me with her phone."
When does a phone make a scratch?
It looked like he got punched in the face, to be honest with you. He was
or like clawed at?
Could have been clawed at, yeah. So that was interesting. She didn't have any marks on her, but his side of his face was kind of fucked up.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's basic. I would be very shocked if like it was found to not be him.
Me too.
But
Another one of the early theories, and this is again not relevant, but they thought there was one guy who said that he thinks it's one of two things. Either Brian did it, Brian accidentally did it and left her, or Brian got into a fight with her, left her in the middle of nowhere, and then she died, but she was strangled. So that's not a possibility anymore.
Yeah, I don't think it was an accident either. You don't just like accidentally do that to somebody and then show up back at like your hometown by yourself without them after you guys went on like a fucking trip and then hide out after you're a fucking prime suspect.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I remember like getting that notification. I mean, I literally like I wasn't surprised that it was strangulation. I thought it was either going to be like blunt force trauma or strangulation, and then it was. But yeah, I remember I think it was like the news top stories or whatever, the app thing I have on my phone that sends me like those automatic alerts. I was like, okay, interesting. Yeah. Should we move on?
Sure.
What's the next one again? Oh yeah,
Zodiac. There's the breakthrough, the people who cracked the cipher, the latest, the second cipher for the Zodiac Killer.
I remember, was it like a movie or a TV show that was like had like an episode or whatever, and it was like the thing that happened at the beach?
There's so much stuff on the Zodiac Killer. There's a series on the Zodiac Killer.
It was like a reenactment or whatever of like the couple being on the beach and then the figure approaching them. I saw that like at a very young age.
I don't know if that was the first like sensationalized serial killer, but it definitely was in the time when that was starting to be a thing.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, like it's because like he wanted so much attention.
Yeah, wouldn't he like leave notes? Like
he would leave notes, and he called a bunch of the murders in himself from a payphone.
Yeah. Because I think I read that it was like 5 were confirmed dead, and then 2 were injured. But he said that it was like 37. That he did like 37 killed 37 people.
He said he killed 37.
Yeah. Which like,
did you also hear? I forget which one it was, but like they literally should have caught him. Did you hear about the
Presidio Heights murder?
Yeah, the one where it's like the dispatcher was like,
yes, a black man.
A black man.
Oh my God, I literally read about that like an hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and they're like, and he taunted them because he's like, if you didn't screw up, he's like, you should have caught me.
Exactly.
They talked. Did you hear they talked to him? They asked him, have you seen anybody suspicious? And he said no. So they said, okay.
Oh, they talked to him? So what
him.
I read was that it was a cab driver that he basically shot twice in the head.
Yeah.
And then 3 teens witnessed it and called it into the police. And then I guess there were 2 patrol officers that were nearby the location that went, and they drove past him. I didn't see that they had stopped and talked to him, but he was walking up the stairs to one of the nearby houses on the street. Yeah. And then they had, I think the teens gave a description of him. I have it listed here. Yeah. So they said he was around 25 to 30, and he was around 5'8", 5'9", and he had a crew cut. And so this was very similar to what the one of the officers described, because they said he was around 5'10". The only difference is that he was a little bit older. They said he was between 35 and 45 years old. But then for some reason, the police radio dispatcher told the officers to look for a black suspect. So, like, according to this article I read, the patrol officers drove past the pedestrian without stopping. And then, like, this murder was the last confirmed murder, like the last officially confirmed murder by the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's so surprising that it was said to be a black man. Wow. I feel like it's either said to be a black man when it's not a black man, or it's said to be a white man and they arrest a black man. Like, I honestly feel like majority of the time that's it. But because I watched, I don't know if it was a JCS YouTube. Have you heard of JCS before? They post they post true crime YouTube videos. Okay. It's like documentary type things. They posted one on Lee Redarde, who basically murdered a woman named Savannah. They worked together. They had like a relationship history, and then they posted one
in the States.
Yes. And then they posted one, and it was what pretending to be crazy looks like. It was the fucking oh my God, what's this? What's the big school shooting that I'm thinking of?
Columbine?
No, I don't think so. Denman
Is that
Douglas or
is that the one you
Parkland.
is that the one you sent me?
Yes, it was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Park.
yeah.
It was the Parkland school shooting. His name was Nick. I can't remember his last name off the top of my head right now. But yeah, he was basically, because if you're found to be like crazy or insane, mentally insane, you're sent off to like a psych ward instead of, you can't get capital punishment.
Yeah, it's like a criminal psych ward.
Exactly.
It's like half prison, half psych ward.
Yeah, so JCS, they do videos of kind of like these, like, and they did one on oh my god, fucking Casey Anthony. I think that's her last name. I don't know. She was like the mother that killed her baby and then got off scot-free without nothing. Right. And but yeah, they do videos based off this. I can't remember if this is a video on their channel or if it was like based on the series that they do. But it was a guy that was arrested because I don't know if it was like a robbery or whatever, but it was a black man who was arrested and he was brought in for questioning, and they were like, "We know it was you." And he was like, and he's innocent. He didn't do it. The description they gave him was like, it was a guy, I'm pretty sure it was a white guy that was much shorter than he was.
Okay.
But he had just gotten off the bus and he was the closest person in sight when they came through the alley, and they immediately like tackled him, arrested him and whatever. And he was like, I literally like, I don't know what to tell you guys because I literally didn't do it. And so they arrested him. They literally like, he had to serve prison time for it. And I think they like, I can't remember how much they gave him for this. I think it was like 35,000 or whatever. I can't remember how much it was.
So did he serve his whole sentence? Or
no,
was he
I think it was, I can't remember. 3 days for some reason is in the back of my head.
He served 3 days?
I think so.
Well then.
And then, yeah, they found that. I don't know if there was a full trial. I think he was just like, because, you know, like while you're awaiting trial, you're basically in prison.
Yeah. And then you usually get like double credit time for time served. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was 3 days. And then they found out that, oh, you know, shit, wrong guy. Like, bitch. Yeah, no shit. Like he didn't match. He literally didn't match a single characteristic other than the fact that he was a guy. That's it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But okay, so talking about the cipher itself, so like this group that said that they cracked it, right? So they're saying that like, so I don't know, so have you looked, like I'm like really interested in like in that type of stuff, like the cracking of the Enigma machine in World War II and like cracking codes and stuff. Like I think that stuff's super interesting.
Okay.
So when they crack this cipher, right, they put it through like all sorts of different algorithms and different computers, and it's taken years and years and they still couldn't crack it. Like, and so what they found is they I forget how they found out to do this pattern, but there was this one pattern that they tried where it was like they take a character, they'd go diagonally to, and they take that character, and they kept doing that, and that gave them a few words. So there was a few words in this that they found, but the rest of it was gibberish.
Okay.
So that really threw them off. So then what they did, and how they cracked it, is they took these words. It's kind of like how they cracked Enigma. Yeah. And they put these words into their models and they reversed it. They said, this is the solution. Now find out how we got it. And that's when they cracked the whole thing. And then they found out that and part of why it was so hard to crack was he made a bunch of spelling mistakes in his cipher. So like his initial message, his initial input message, he had a bunch of spelling mistakes in it. Mm-hmm. So when they cracked this thing and they found out who he was, like, They thought he was some sort of genius, but really he's just like, I don't know. He couldn't spell paradise. That's what it was. He spelled it DICE.
Oh my God.
And he used the word paradise 4 times in the cipher.
A pair of dice. Good Lord. Yeah. So who is the guy that they like linked it to now? Is he dead?
Post. Yeah, he died in 2018.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Gary Post. He and they're saying too that if you look at a lot of his sketches, there's scarring on the forehead, and it sort of matches up with this guy.
Because they were like, oh yeah, he was active around the same time that the Zodiac Killer was.
Yeah,
which is like the late 1960s. I think it was like 1968 to 69.
And don't quote me on this, but I think that he was in the military. This Gary Post guy.
Oh, I think I read that.
Yeah, and you know what? I actually want to track something I said. I think it's incorrect. I think the Paradise one was actually the first cipher they cracked. That wasn't the one that actually identified Gary Post.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he there's a bunch of things why he got away with it. Well, basically got away with it. Period. But um, so I don't know if this was planned or not, but each murder he committed was in a different jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's a part of it. So like each agency was focusing on their own murder, and
Yeah.
apparently at that time they weren't really sharing. There was a lot of bureaucratic crap involved, and
Yeah.
they didn't have the technology to like we do today too, right? So um yeah,
Yeah,
it was
'cause
a lot of things working against them.
it was like Northern Cali, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was one in Riverside. There was one. They were all different jurisdictions of California.
Because
Yeah,
like Presidio Heights, that's San Fran. That's San
yeah,
Francisco.
yeah,
But yeah, I was looking and they say that like the reported crimes that weren't confirmed true, some of them were in Nevada, so
yeah. And
yeah,
then,
could have been
but
cross state.
two of his victims lived though. Hey,
Yeah, the injured. The
yeah.
one of the couple, I think was it the girl?
One of the dudes lived. The stabbing ones, the dude lived.
Okay, it was the guy. Okay.
And then I forget the other one, but two of them lived. And apparently the stabbing one, I remember the guy said that he was wearing like a balaclava and he had like this like bib on that had the Zodiac sign on it. And yeah, and then he wrote. Did you see what he wrote on the vehicle too? The stabbing
Oh
one?
yeah, it was oh my god, I just saw this. I can't remember what the word was, but wasn't it like the time of death and the date?
So yeah, it was like the date, the time of death, even with the seconds,
Yeah.
the Zodiac sign, and it said by stabbing.
There was like another thing in it. Fuck. Let me hold on. I'm gonna find it right now because I have it pulled up. Where are you? Oh, it said Vallejo, Vallejo.
Right. And then do you think the cipher, the one that I was telling you about with the paradise, so he basically alludes to the fact that like he believes that these people that he's killing are going to be his slaves in the afterlife, right? And that's why he's doing it.
Yeah.
Do you think that he actually believes that, or do you think that it's just part of like to like pump up his aura?
I mean, I feel like there's something like seriously fucked up with you if you do shit like this. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was his actual thinking.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like he thinks he's accumulating souls, like it's fucking Outlander or something.
Yeah. And then as much as he can accumulate before he dies, that's how good his afterlife will be. Yeah. He was
not Outlander, Highlander.
Oh, I don't know the difference.
You kill somebody, you like kill, and then you absorb their soul.
Oh, I see. But yeah, that shit, like he's one of he's one of the most well-known serial killers.
Yeah, I feel like he's got to be top 5.
Oh yeah. Who would you put next to him?
Ted Bundy, I'd put it probably at number 1.
Would you put
Charles Manson maybe number 1?
Oh, I'd put Ted Bundy number 1, 100% over Charles Manson. I'd feel like John Wayne Gacy. Yeah, I was
John
just
Wayne
about to
Gacy.
say.
No particular order. I can't. And then Charles Manson, Zodiac Killer, and then maybe like the Green River Killer. What about you?
Yeah, I'd probably same thing. I mean, like immediately, like Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy came at the top of my head, and then yeah, Charles Manson. Definitely Zodiac Killer. Yeah, I would probably say the same. I feel like the 5th option for me would maybe take like a little bit of digging. Do you remember early on at work when I was like, oh, let me look up like all the last meals of these like serial killers.
Yeah.
We were like going through like, oh, like, and we'd be like, if we were a serial killer, what would our last meal be that you would have? Wasn't yours like steak and eggs or something like that?
Oh, steak and eggs, and then like it's like I don't know, like a cheesecake.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
But did you hear about the guy who he has all the satanic tattoos on his face and he ate a Bible? Did you hear about that guy?
He ate a Bible?
He ate a Bible.
Oh my God.
He's got like 666 tattooed on his forehead.
Can I pay him? Did it go like literally like now, or was this like something that resurfaced?
It was like an article I saw, like the most chilling last meals or something like that.
That was his last meal?
Yeah, he ate a Bible.
Oh, I thought you meant like he was just satanic and like a video of him went viral of him.
He ate a Bible.
Oh, that's so funny.
But what do you think? Okay, what do you think it is? And this is probably a big conversation about like the public who's so like it's so like serial killers are so romanticized. Like, why do you think that is?
That's actually a good question, because
because the thing is, there's a paradox, right? Because the reason you think part of the reason these people are doing it is because me and you are talking about it, and because we care about it.
I mean, it's honestly like killers in general too, because I don't know if you've ever heard of the story about the Menendez brothers, but
No.
they killed their parents, and then on TikTok, this is quite a while ago. On TikTok, I guess like girls were like fantasizing over one of the brothers because he's very attractive. I'd say they both are decently attractive, but one
So
of
like
them more so.
after the fact when he was a murderer?
Yeah, like he'd
Okay.
been sentenced, whatever had been done, and it's funny because they have like these like I think it's Watch Mojo, the YouTube channel that posts like top 10 whatever, and it was top
Yeah.
10 photos with chilling backstories. And
Oh, I saw that.
with Michael Jordan, and then in the background of it were the Menendez brothers at their game. I think they were front row. And I literally saw it, and I had just read about the Menendez brothers story, and I saw it, and I was like, I was trying to like guess the story behind every one of these pictures, and I was like, oh, those look like the Menendez brothers. And they were like, oh yeah, these are the Menendez. I was like, what the fuck? Like, how the fuck did I know that so fast? But
So it was obviously before that they did this. They committed the murders?
I can't remember the relation of time because I don't think their parents were there.
Oh, so are they in prison right now?
Yes, I believe so. I believe they've been fully sentenced, whatever. And it was really weird because the story
Were
was
they minors?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But the story with them was that they had called it in. They were like, somebody's murdered my like parents and whatever, and they were not even suspects until they found suspicious activity on, I think it was their father's credit card or something like that. They had spent like $600,000 in a month.
Oh, you told me about these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then they were like, I can't remember how it was fully connected, if there was any like DNA evidence or whatever, but like, oh bitch, that story was just like,
Yeah, that's wild.
it was crazy. Cause like, I'm pretty sure they like took out like a loan on a house. They had bought like like some really expensive watches, and they had like, I think bought a car or something like that. And yeah, that shit was crazy to read about. Like, bitch, cover your tracks. Like, don't just wait.
Oh yeah, don't not commit the murders. Just cover your tracks.
Just wait a little bit. Make this a little bit more interesting. You can be the next Zodiac Killer. Come on.
This is not the type of podcast I want to be associated with. I'm retracting my likeness.
But yeah, I mean, like true crime stories, just they're so fucking interesting. Like I don't know.
I agree with you, but why?
I just don't know. But yeah, I don't know why they're so like romanticized.
Is it like a puzzle? Is it because we want to like
maybe it's because like a lot of it's unsolved, and like to be I guess to like get it right in the end is kind of like a feel good thing, and it like gives you a lot of like, you feel like validated. I feel like I've never tried to solve a like a true crime unsolved mystery case, but if I did and I found myself to be right, I'd be like, bitch.
Okay, but like the layman doesn't do that, you know? Like, so I feel like that's not what it is. It's not like that you want to solve it and you get a good feeling from it. Because that never happens. Because like, you know, all the time, like there's lots of people like about the Jack the Ripper, the Zodiac Killer. Like, they'll publish books. They'll be like, this is why I think it's this person.
Yeah.
Right. But it's a theory. It's a huge theory. And like, they're never going to know.
Oh yeah.
Even like I was watching this video because I'm super interested. Like, I probably should have put this on my top 5. Jack the Ripper.
I was just about to say, I was like, wait, Jack the Ripper, that's a good one.
I bought this like big. I think it was a Time magazine special edition. It was just on Jack the Ripper, and I read all about it. Holy shit, that shit's interesting. But like they think that they found who that dude is because they had like DNA on a shawl.
Yeah, I think I read that.
But somebody was saying like you can't. A scientist was saying like that is useless. He committed these murders like 130 years ago, and you can't just like pull DNA off of it now and be like, oh, it's this person. Like, how many people have handled that shawl? And back then they had no crime scene security measures, so like someone would commit a murder and like 80 people would come touch everything.
Yeah, I remember when I was visiting a friend in Vegas. And this was, I mean, you know what friend this is. I'm not going to name names. It was his mom's car that got broken into. And then the guy that broke into it left his phone. And they were like touching this guy's phone like all over. I'm just like, bitch. And I like ripped it out of their hands. I'm like, you don't know what this guy has done. Like, you don't know. He could have killed somebody. He could have like, you don't know what he's done. So this is evidence Like, leave this shit alone. It's not turning on. Don't, like, try to fucking charge it. Leave it alone. The police will do what they want to do with it. They've already been called. But if y'all bitches continue to fucking touch this, there's gonna be a problem.
Okay, yeah, but also, like, police don't give a shit to pull DNA off of a phone for, like, a carjacking.
Well, but, like, no, I'm not saying for the carjacking. Like, you don't know what these guys have done.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
So that's why I'm like, just, like, leave it. You obviously know that it came out of this guy's pocket and that he was holding it somehow. And, like, there's obviously DNA on it. So fucking let it go. Leave it. Like, this phone could have been a phone of a guy that he'd killed. That he just stole, and then it died when he was, like, and he's trying to, like, break into another person's car to steal another phone or get another form of, like, him reaching out to somebody. So, like, you don't know.
Speaking of police, I watched the new Jake Gyllenhaal Netflix movie, The Guilty. Have you heard of it?
No.
Oh, fuck, it's so good.
Jake Gyllenhaal is not attractive.
What the fuck?
I'm just kidding. I knew that would strike a chord with you.
Look at this face.
I don't want to. He's okay. He's attractive. I don't think I would, like, have relations with him, but he's fine.
So my top three, like, probably my top three favorite male actors of all time. Actually, I'll give it 4.
Okay. 4. Jack the Ripper.
Jake Gyllenhaal, Tom Hardy.
Oh, I love Tom Hardy. He's so hot.
Denzel Washington. Denzel, he's not in a fucking bad movie.
Agreed.
And
very underrated. Keanu Reeves, like, you've watched Speed, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's so fucking hot in Speed, and he's so fucking ugly in The Matrix.
It's the haircut.
I know. It pisses me off. Like, how does that do that to you? How, like, when you have short hair that is styled very nicely, you're a fucking bombshell.
It's because it fits his look for the movie. Like, he's sort of sleek looking.
Yeah.
And yeah,
like,
I don't know.
You're a bombshell.
He's got a nice shaped head.
You're a bombshell with short hair, and you're just a bomb with long hair. Like, it's so bad.
Wait, is a bomb better or worse than a bombshell?
Worse, because it's like, if you're bomb, like, you're bomb. Like, but if you're a bomb,
If you're a bomb, then it's bad.
Then it's bad.
But if you're a bomb, it's good, and if you're a bombshell, it's really good. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if you're a bombshell, that means you're smoking. If you look bomb, that means, like, bitch, you're on fire. But if you're a bomb, that means you blew up and it's something wrong with you.
I like how just, like, one syllable can just, like, completely
literally a letter. Oh my god. But do you think that that the guy that they had found to be, like, the Zodiac Killer is the Zodiac Killer?
It's tough to say. I mean, I think yes. But, like, have you heard, that's another portion too, is this group, they're saying that the FBI, like, isn't, like, what the guy said is, he's like, the FBI has been, like, reluctantly cooperative. Like, that's the guy. So I think the FBI is like fuck off, you're making us look bad kind of thing.
Honestly, though.
But the FBI is like, no, the case is still open. I don't know what they're talking about.
I feel like a lot of people don't want to believe that it's him, just on the basis that they wanted to keep it, like, open-ended.
No, I think people don't want to know it's him because he's dead. That's why I think, because they're like, fuck, well, now there's nothing we can do about it.
Imagine if there was, like, a real-life Jigsaw. That, like, because I don't know if you've seen, like, the last Jigsaw, but, like, he basically passes it down to, like, an apprentice who, like, takes over for him. But imagine if it was like that, and it, like, just got continuously passed down.
Could you imagine if this Gary Post guy was still alive and they showed up at his house and arrested him? How big of a story that would have been?
Bitch, they better have had, like, footage. They better have had, like, everything. They would have, oh my god, that would have been fucking viral in an instant.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it would have been viral on the basis that he's connected to the Zodiac Killer. I don't know how many people would be like, that's the Zodiac Killer. Like, I wonder, well, no, because, well, yeah, some of, like, maybe the survivors are still alive to this day and would look at him and be like, that, well, I mean, one of the survivors was the stabbing and he was fully masked and had, like, a.
But think about it. It's like, what was that, 70 years ago?
68, 69, that would have been, like, so, like 50. Yeah, like 50, 55 years ago. Like
he's.
You'd have to be fairly young to.
But I'm not even saying that the people aren't going to be alive. I'm saying he's going to have changed a lot.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's gonna be tough to identify somebody. You could.
Yeah.
And again, like I don't put like I don't put a ton of weight into victims identifying perpetrators of crime because it's so emotionally charged too, right? Because it's just like we think this is a suspect. Did he do it? You're more apt to be like, yeah, it's him. Crucify him for that.
Have you watched all Saw movies?
No, I only watched the first one. That's not my thing.
Damn it. Because I was gonna ask you, like, if you had to be put in a Saw movie, what one would you be put in?
I'm a baby. I would never watch movies like that.
Okay, what about
Like, you ever heard of the movie What Lies Beneath with Michelle Pfeiffer? And I think it was Harrison Ford.
No, oh, I've heard of it. I've never watched it because I fucking hate Harrison Ford.
You hate Harrison Ford?
Yep.
Why?
I think he's a very overrated actor. I don't think I find a single one of his movies good.
Have you watched Air Force One?
Yes. And I literally was thinking about that one. I was like, hey, wait, what was the one called? Because my mom and I watched that together.
I have to add another actor to my list.
Gary Oldman. Oh, okay. Oh my God.
Love Gary Oldman.
I thought you were going to add Harrison Ford. I was like, Jordan.
Dude, he plays the Russian in Air Force One, and I thought he was a Russian till I was like 20.
Really?
He does such a good job.
Oh, yeah. But no, I thought you were going to add Harrison Ford. I was like, Jordan, You do realize that we don't have an episode posted, and I can literally end it right here.
But okay, listen. So the reason I brought that movie up, I watched that movie when I was like 13 or some shit, like maybe younger than that, maybe like 10.
Yeah.
I slept in my parents' room for like 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
I was fucked up. So yeah, I don't watch Saw.
Oh, Saw. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Air Force One.
No, I was talking about What Lies Beneath. That's why I brought up.
Mommy, I'm scared. Oh my God, what movie did you watch? Was it horror? Air Force One. Yeah, I remember. So my mom had, I think, the first 2 or 3 Saws on like DVD, and I watched the first one with a friend. I can't remember who it was with, and that, oh my God, that shit was disgusting. Like, I could not, but then I, like, nowadays I'm like, and like I recently, well, not recently, a couple months ago, I watched, I think Jigsaw is the last one. And, yeah, that, it's cool. It's cool. I don't know which Saw movie I would want to be in, though. I have no idea. And I don't know which trap I would want to be in. I think, like, I don't know what you have, like, the best odds. I think I would want to be in the trap that's like, there's like a chainsaw with a girl hanging above, and it's like her 2 boyfriends on each side that are like fighting over her. But then they realize that like she's a nasty cheater who's like back and forth, so they just kill her. They just let the chainsaw like go up instead of like fighting over her or whatever. I think I would do that, but I would obviously want to be like one of the guys that is doing that because I can just be like, I'm not moving, like we'll kill her, and then like it's you above, and I'm just like, bye. It's like, oh shit, I was gonna name a third person. I hate the fact that I have to like censor myself and I can't name like people because I don't have.
It's hard for you to censor.
It's
anything.
So difficult, right?
What do we have for runtime right now?
54 minutes.
We should probably move on.
Wait, one question.
Okay.
I think I've asked you this before, but I can't remember your answer. So say Hunger Games was a thing. And you were like selected to be in it, and it's like an equal slate. There's no like districts and like that's based over like hunting and lumber or whatever.
I think I know what you're gonna ask me. Go on.
Okay, what would you do like to start it, and how do you?
You asked me this off camera.
I did. I can't remember what you said though. How well do you think you would do? How far do you think you would make it?
I might make it far, but I'm not made for that. I would run the fuck to the farthest corner of the place.
Yeah.
You know how at the beginning you like everybody goes to grab shit?
Yeah.
Fuck that. I'm out.
I'm
straight out.
I think I would make it far. I don't think I would win. I would go for like something in the field, like a bag in the field that I like saw no one going for. I would go that, and then
this is what you said. And this is what you said. I think
we'll this off. And I would
immediately get out. You know what you said? You know what you said? You know how there's all that shit in the middle? You said you'd go for something.
Did I?
Yeah,
I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. No, I would. If I got a weapon from the bag, I'd probably just like maybe stay and spectate, but I would most likely just run. I would pray, like fucking hope, that there was some way that I had a long distance weapon, like a spear or a bow, because I think that's the only way that I would win a fight.
You know how like if there's too many people that are in remote areas, they like do something to force you together. I'd be in big trouble.
Oh,
I'd be in big fucking trouble.
Yeah, I would probably try to stay like in like an area that's like heightened above others, so that like I just kind of have the advantage, like a tree, or maybe just like a higher ground. But yeah, if I have a bow or a spear, then I can probably do something with that. I would probably like make it decently far. But I know I don't think I would win. I don't know. I don't even know who I would like align myself with, because like I don't think people would, like the strong people wouldn't want to align them with me, or wouldn't want to align with me, because they'd be like,
I wouldn't trust anybody.
They'd be like, who's this scrawny gay kid? Like fucking
like if me and you were in it and I made an alliance with you, I'd be scared to go to sleep, because I'd be like,
what with me?
With anyone.
I wouldn't kill you. I would probably even, okay, actually I wouldn't kill you. If we were the final two, let's say miraculously we made it to final two. Obviously, like if we can't win together, I'm going to have to kill you. So if I went in with the knowledge that we couldn't win together, like we weren't on the same district because it's like whatever, like man and woman, whatever. And if I went in with the knowledge that we couldn't, there's no double win, whatever, unless you're with somebody from your district, I would probably like wait until we've made it to final two, and then I would probably backstab you and kill you.
Yeah, but if we made it to final two, then you wouldn't really get the chance to backstab me, right? Because then I know there's two people left.
Well, I know, but like maybe you would be like, oh my god, we did it. Now we have to like play a fair game. Like I wouldn't do that. I would just be like, I'm literally killing you. Like you're getting a bow to your heart.
To be honest with you though, as soon as it got down to 3 people, I'd be like, okay, like I don't trust you anymore. Like I'm leaving.
Okay, well then I'd shoot you as you were leaving. I'd be like, you're not gonna help me take this last person
think
down?
Think of it this way, like, do you know like do you ever take any economics classes in school? You know how they're like the zero sum games where it's like the 4 squares?
Yeah.
So like let's do like the prisoner's dilemma type of thing with this. If you're in an alliance with somebody during the Hunger Games, right? Like your incentives are just too high to backstab the other person. Like it just makes too much sense. That's why I wouldn't trust anyone. Like you're like X person's asleep. All I have to do is slit your throat, and like my chances of survival exponentially go up. Like,
yeah. I feel like I would want to like third party somebody. So like I would want to be like the third party in 2 people that are fighting, or 2 maybe groups that are fighting. I feel like that's like a smart way to just like.
So if there was like 2 and 2, and then it was just you on your own.
Yeah, let's say like, or even if it was just like 2 people fighting. And then like 1-1, I would be right there because like they're caught off guard and be like,
they'd be like,
surprise, bitch.
They'd be like, yeah, bro.
They'd be like, oh my god.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay, what's our next one?
I think it's the Texas abortion law.
Oh god.
Oh man.
When was this announced? So the governor of Texas, his name's Greg Abbott. He's a Republican. Shocking. Whoa. And a white male. Old. Whoa. Surprise. I think I read an article that was back in May, but it said that it was going into effect in September, which I think that's what happened. I've also seen like court cases where it was like temporarily stalled by like the ACLU. And
yeah, but the Supreme Court voted 5-4
in favor of
not blocking the law.
Yeah, but then I think Biden sent in like a plea or something like that, but then like the state
they're saying
this
is going to be in court for like the next 5 to 10 years, they're saying. But okay, the thing that's really screwed up about it, and I didn't know this until I did my research, do you know that like state officials can't actually enforce this law?
Like governors?
So like any like governors, politicians, they can't enforce this law. Do you know how this law gets enforced?
How?
So basically, like let's say I'm a woman and I go and get an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
And I get one like illegally by state law.
Yeah.
If you know me and you're offended by it, you can't sue me because I would be the person getting the abortion.
Oh,
you can't sue that.
You can sue the institution.
You could sue the people who did it. You could sue the Uber driver, the fucking Uber driver. You could sue, even though they're not going to know where they're taking you. You can sue anybody involved, except you can't sue me.
But
so
doesn't this change that?
What do you mean?
Doesn't this change? Like, doesn't this law like change that? Isn't it like
no? I'm saying that's the rules of the law of this law.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's not what I've read.
That's what my research showed me.
So wait,
it's like it's self-policing. It's self-policing. I got it from a reliable source. It was like an MSNBC like legal correspondent.
That doesn't even make any sense though, because like weird. So there's like the woman doesn't have to pay any of it? Actually, wait, no, that does make sense. Wait, yeah. Now that I'm thinking back to what I read, that does make sense.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, this is the law. Us as politicians, we're not going to enforce it. You guys rat on each other. It's like the fucking, remember in like World War II during like Nazi Germany when like all the kids were telling on their parents to the Nazis?
Yeah.
It's like that.
So what happens to the women? Do they say like what kind of?
Nothing happens.
What the fuck?
Nothing happens.
That's so weird. Do you think the woman would have do you think she would be contacted by the institution that performed it to pay it?
I don't think that that's legal.
Is it?
No, I don't think so.
But yeah, for those who might not know, as this kind of is world news. Well, I guess this kind of isn't really world news. This is kind of more like world news in like U.S. and Canada and fucking. Texas Governor Greg Abbott proposed a law that basically bans abortions after 6 weeks, no exceptions for rape or incest.
It's not just 6 weeks, though. Do you know what the actual law is?
What is that?
When there's a detectable heartbeat, that usually is around 6 weeks.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So they're saying that if you want to get a legal abortion, you need to know like days after you're pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Which, like, bitch, majority of women don't even look into it unless they've missed a period. And that's like if you have a standard schedule for your period.
Yes. And there's usually a grace period, right? Where women will be like, oh, I'm 3 days late. Like, I'll just wait a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah. There are people that are like constantly late.
Yeah.
And that they're just like, okay, yeah, whatever. That's no worries. I'm not, whatever.
Yeah, no. The other thing is you are still allowed to travel outside of state. But again, that's not an option for a lot of women, right?
Exactly. I think they said the closest center outside of Texas is like 200 miles away from like the nearest residency in Texas. That's the nearest.
They're also saying too that if you're getting a legal abortion, I'm going to keep doing this because otherwise I want to be used, these terms to be loosely applied.
Mm-hmm.
But like, so they're saying even if you're in a position to get one, the availability of them is going to go way down too, right? Because as a business, how many are you performing now?
Yeah, I remember he had like a question about it, and it was like in regards to like the heartbeat bill or whatever, why are there no exceptions for rape or incest? And he said one of his plans of this bill is to eliminate rape or eliminate rapists, as if that makes any fucking sense at all. When there's no consequences for the rapist.
The only exception that I read that there's medical exemption. So like if you go to a doctor and a doctor says for this woman to give birth, she will die.
She would die.
Yeah. That's the only exemption.
Yeah, that shit's crazy to me. Like crazy. Like actually like it's just so fucking like, how does that even go through the Supreme Court? Like, it does not make any sense to me. I mean, well, it makes sense because 6 of the judges are fucking conservative, fucking weird-ass bitches, and, like, 3 of them are only left-leaning. And, like, I can't remember the judge that they got to, like, basically switch over and vote in favor of...
That's a close vote, hey?
Oh, yeah.
I heard in that ruling, they didn't, this is important, that the Supreme Court didn't specify whether or not the law was constitutional. So they're saying that opens the door for it to stay in court, because they haven't said like, oh yeah, this is in line with their constitution, or no, it isn't. So the other thing they're saying like, the famous abortion case Roe versus Wade, Roe v. Wade. So now I don't know if it's Texas, but because of everything that's happened in Texas, a lot of states are taking that case back to court. They're looking to have Roe versus Wade overturned.
Yeah. That's just crazy. Like, it's so fucking like actually so crazy because I think the ruling in Roe v. Wade was due to the constitutional right of the right to privacy. The right to privacy. Yeah. Yes. The 14th. 14th. Yeah, it's 14th. And that shit's like, you know what I hate? So this is just so like, you remember whenever a pro-choice person, like one of the talking points is exceptions for rape.
Yes.
And then somebody who's pro-life goes, okay, well, that only accounts for like 1% of all abortions.
Mm-hmm.
So about 70 to 75% of all rape isn't reported. I think this is 2017. This is Travis County law enforcement. This is a county in Texas. 625 adult sexual assault offenses were reported to the law enforcement of that county.
Okay.
13 resulted in plea agreements. One made it to jury trial. One county. It's just one county in Texas in one state. Nationally, that number is usually around, not usually around, nationally, that number is around 25 out of every 1,000 sex offenders will be incarcerated. Only 50 reports lead to arrest. This is according to the National Sexual Assault Hotline. Per every 1,000 sexual assault cases, only around 310, I believe, are reported. But yeah, that number is typically 70% of.
I expected that to be bad, but I didn't expect it to be that bad.
And it's just like, if you want to go with that 1% that literally can't even apply in this specific instance, and then you're going to talk about third trimester abortions, bitch, less than 1% of abortions happen in the third trimester. Majority of abortions happen before the 9-week mark.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, like the baby can feel or whatever at this point. It's like, no, typically actually babies can't feel anything until the 21-week mark. And it's weird because I heard this nurse talk about this, and it's like, it's weird that people are determining life begins at heartbeat, or they're focusing around this heartbeat law. When a patient's heart stops beating, but they still have brain activity, they're not pronounced dead until they're brain dead.
Right.
And so why aren't we applying that same measure of life to this? And also, the people that, if you read the Bible and you're listening to this, hey, surprise, bitch, the Bible said that life begins at first breath, not while you're fucking conceived.
Well, and I'm not saying that this is correct or not, but I think that what the right wing view in terms of why we don't apply the brain activity to when the baby is born is okay. Maybe and this is a really messed up belief, but maybe it's that life was in the person whose heartbeat has stopped, but they still have brain activity. Is that life was already present in this person? Maybe they're applying an uneven amount of weight to that fact.
I mean, I think it's just the reason it's looked at as hypocritical is because it's always looked because I mean, as far as I know, the heart forms before the brain in a fetus.
I think it would have to.
Yeah. And I think that's the only reason. That's majority of the reason that they're going off of this is because they want to be like, oh, 6 weeks, blah, 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 that's the earliest, whatever. But that's kind of their counterclaim to that is that the heart forms before the brain. I can't remember what stage of the fetus is the brain forming. But yeah, that shit's fucking, that's crazy. Because even when he was asked for exceptions, he was like, 6 weeks is more than enough for a time for a woman to get an abortion. Oh, yeah, okay. What woman have you fucking talked to that have told you this?
Yeah, and there's so many Republican states that are closely watching what's going on and are having a light bulb over their head. Oh, we can do this too.
Exactly. This was passed. We didn't even think this would pass. Well, we're gonna take it into our hands too, and we're gonna implement it and.
We're going back to the fucking dark ages.
Oh, 100%. It's so fucking funny because every single law that has been put forward and that actually has effect in reducing the need for abortions has been laws put by Democratic representatives. Fucking free contraception, better sex education. These are all things that have proven to significantly reduce the amount of abortions. And they're just completely overlooked. Also, pro-life literally does not exist. It does not exist. It's just anti-abortion or pro-birth. It does not exist because a lot of the counterclaim to what if this child is an unwanted child that potentially stays with with their biological parents. And they grow up in poverty, they grow up in unwanted households, abusive households, and they become that themselves. Well, they're just okay, well, the adoption system. Or they can adopt, or they can go into foster care. Bitch, are you kidding me?
Well, it's kind of I might have told you about this off camera, but did I ever tell you about the from the Freakonomics book, the abortion thing?
I can't remember.
Okay, so I'll say it quickly. So basically, when in the 90s, when crime was spiraling in the United States, and everybody had a different theory, all of a sudden in late 1990s, early 2000s, it just dropped off a cliff, and everybody had reasoning why. Maybe policing's higher, blah 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 blah. This guy wrote this book who's an economist. He said that basically what happened is 20 years prior, abortion had been made legal in most states in the United States. So these kids who were going to become the future criminals didn't exist because the people who couldn't support them emotionally, physically, monetarily, they weren't having the children.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's always like that whole what if this future like person is like gets a cure for cancer? Like, bitch, what if they're a fucking serial killer? We are in 2021. Is there a cure for cancer? How many serial killers have there been? A lot more than a fucking cure for fucking cancer, bitch.
No, I think that if you're if the parent is considering abortion, you're probably more likely to be a school shooter than you are creating the cure for cancer.
Exactly. But like, my God, my parents should have had one.
I mean,
my sister. I'm just kidding.
Hope your sister doesn't listen to this podcast.
Oh, she will. She knows that I'm kidding. They should have had one with me. They probably did want to have one with me. I was probably born, and then I came out, and they were like, "Ah, fuck. We really shoulda. We really shoulda." Yeah, that whole. I haven't found a single well, I don't think I'll ever find any decent reasoning to it.
The other thing is, could you imagine okay, the vote was 5-4. Could you imagine the amount of political bullshit that was involved in that?
100%. If Ruth Bader Ginsburg was still alive, literally, if this was a fucking year prior and this was put through, that would have been 5-4 in fucking favor of that bill not going through.
Yeah. Because, bitch, I watched House of Cards. I know when it's fucking 3.
Fuck you, Kevin Spacey. You're a bitch. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
So I know when it's a really close vote and the person who's undecided, they'll be go to one side and they'll be like, hey, if I vote in your favor, what do I get?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I guarantee you there were fucking conservative judge that went over to the left. He was like, oh yeah, I'll do this for this. And then they're like, we didn't win. He'd be like, okay, well, I'm still wanting this. So I voted in your favor. But no, full T, the only reason this bill is being put through is because of politics. For some reason I thought his first name was Governor. Greg Abbott knows that he's basically, I think he's fucked for this re-election in 2022. I think that he is royally fucked.
But based on the political beliefs of the population of Texas, though, do you really think he's fucked?
Yes. Absolutely. Especially in recent years. The trend in recent years, Texas was solid red. Fucking 12 years ago.
But now, from what I've heard, the big cities are blue.
Yes, Houston, Austin, yes.
Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, Texas was solid red, solid 12 years ago. And now they're I think the fucking the Joe Biden versus Donald Trump, it was 55-45. That's 10% versus 40.
Well, I think I've said this to you off camera. There's a huge influx of California
in Texas
population coming to Texas. Mm-hmm. I think that's a big part of it too.
Absolutely, I agree.
I'm it's actually funny. I heard this when when Undertaker was on Rogan. He was saying he's like we don't want you Californians here. They don't really stay in California. You fuck that state up enough.
Yeah, it's really weird when I California is kind of fucked up, but there's literally no comparison to Texas or Florida. None.
Oh yeah,
none at all. Texas is one of the worst states in education, one of the worst states in healthcare. There's none.
See, I don't know any of that. I'm just basing it all on their social policy, COVID related stuff. It's just all a huge kerfuffle. And you know what the shitty thing is too is for example, Florida had no measures for COVID near the end there, and they're saying, oh, per capita we're less cases. That's not true.
No.
But why are they lying?
I'm pretty sure Florida's the worst state.
But they're per capita we're better than California. They're not.
No, God, no, not even close. California is the fourth best state in the states right now. I'm pretty sure when it comes to per capita COVID cases. The last time I checked, it was Washington, Oregon, I think Kansas, and then California.
I also saw what Biden said about the law when it was put in Texas. And you know what? I actually don't like a lot of Biden's public addresses, but I liked what he said.
What did he say?
Good. He just basically spoke out against it. But like, I don't know what you think, Biden. Like the thing that frustrates me about him is like I don't know. It's like you can really tell that he's just reading a speech off a teleprompter, and like he struggles with that sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, how old is he? Is he like 80?
Yeah, he's like saying he's 79.
But I mean, like, yeah, I'm not the
No.
biggest fan of Biden, but yeah, I would have fucking voted for him in a heartbeat over
Oh,
Trump.
100%. 100%.
Actually,
No.
probably, I'm kid like, somebody said this and it was actually like really, really good. They were just like, I don't necessarily identify as a Democrat. I just identify as anti-Republican, or like anyone who isn't Republican, which
He's
like,
he's
yeah,
78. He's 78.
he's 78. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, yeah, like the pro-life party or whatever, like pro-life literally doesn't exist, because if you were pro-life, you would advocate for social services that promote the mental and like physical
But I
well-being
think that's
of
all
somebody.
that's all framing though, right? Like, because like for example, like I've heard certain right-wing people call our views pro-death. So it's all framing.
It's just so funny because like our view, like typically pro-choice people tend to be against the death penalty and pro-life people tend to be for it, which that's very ironic. But like I feel like them calling us pro-death, I feel like that's easily like distinguishable.
You know what? That's a really good point, you know? Like if all life is valuable, all life is valuable.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And it's just like I feel like with the death penalty, because I remember we were talking about it off camera. I love how many times we've said like off camera this episode. We were talking about it, and we were basically saying, and you had brought up the point that like basically 1 in every 10 people are later found to be innocent.
Yeah, that are yeah in capital punishment cases.
And,
1 in 10.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
Yeah. And it's just like we were talking and we were like, we would love for this to be like specific to certain cases, but that's not a thing with the death penalty. It's like you're found guilty of capital punishment and you're sentenced to death. Yeah. Like that's literally, so it's basically like it's a thing or it's not a thing.
Apparently, though, I've heard though, like if sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
If you're a like you can get stays, you can get your death penalty put off for 10 years. If you want.
Yeah. But
what were you gonna say?
I wish that it were, because like of course there are like if there's full fucking evidence against a person that they did a truly heinous crime, then yes, like they do not deserve to be here. Yeah. But like I don't think that we have enough of that, and I don't think that that's a thing that like is a thing where it's just like it should be a thing or it shouldn't be a thing, and I don't think the death penalty should be a thing. I don't think it's even like a way out. Majority of the people that get capital punishment, they want it after they commit their crime. They don't want to be in jail rotting for the rest of their life. They want to just die. They want to be killed. Like that's the reason that so many people pretend to be crazy. Like in the instance of fucking, I can't remember this guy's last name, but Nick, the Parkland school shooter, he wanted to be found sorry. Insane? He wanted to be found criminally insane because he didn't want to go to jail.
Yeah, he didn't want to go to jail. It's not that he
not because he wanted to die. Yeah. I was like, wait, that kind of disproves my point. Wait. But no, he didn't want to go to jail because he has this assumption that these basically like asylums are like.
Well, it is, because what they do is, and I think this is what they do, is they rehabilitate you and then they release you back on the street, right?
Oh no. Majority of the time, you serve a longer sentence in the actual facility than you would if you were in jail.
But your living conditions are markedly better.
Not from what I've heard, actually. The video kind of goes through and explains that like it's a common misconception in the community.
Well, then why is it beneficial?
No idea. Like, I think it's just because that's what it's like. It's been told, or it's been talked about like that to the people that are pretending to be crazy, that they want it more than jail.
Or maybe that just keeps you from riding old Sparky.
You never know.
But yeah, I think that 10% of innocent people, like 1 in every 10 innocent people being killed, like that is the main reason I'm against capital punishment.
Oh yeah, that's definitely one of the main ones for me.
Like,
I mean,
to be honest with you, if it was 1 in 50, I would still be against it.
If it was 1 in 100, I'd be against it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the number would have had to be for me to be like, maybe, but like, no. Yeah, that's shit.
But if you have 1,000 people and one of them is innocent and you kill them, is it worth it? I don't think it is.
I wouldn't even say it is. Pro-lifers would. Fucking hypocritical bitches. But I mean, like the entire like prison system, the law system, the fucking police system, even like, I mean, I wouldn't say as much here, but in the States is fucked. Like beyond fucked. The whole criminal system is beyond fucked.
I think another reason why the right wingers are so for the death penalty also is because of the cost of housing and feeding these people. I forget where I heard this stat, and it's probably outdated now, but it costs $55,000 for an inmate to be incarcerated for a year in the States, which makes sense.
Yeah, I was about to say it sounds like something that makes sense.
Yeah,
but yeah, I remember us talking about like the criminalization status of marijuana and how I think that that's fully political, because majority of like cases that like people are incarcerated for marijuana usage or drug usage is against black people, and in a lot of states, when you're incarcerated and you get out of prison, you can't vote. And black people tend to vote Democratic more so than Republican. And these are like Republican states that have legislatures like this, like that fully promote laws like these that completely silence the rights of people. I think that like people who were formerly incarcerated should have the right to vote. I don't think and that's a popular opinion too. Fucking Florida is now red, and they had a vote on this, and it was overwhelmingly yes. Like overwhelmingly. And yeah, that shit is I honestly I don't really know what's gonna happen like beyond this with I don't know what states are gonna try to adopt this whole Texas abortion law, but
Georgia.
Is Georgia?
Oh, Georgia's fucked, man.
Oh yeah, because Georgia's governor is still a Republican. I was thinking of their senators. Because
I'm just basing it all on the rest of Georgia's social policy.
Yeah, because I don't even know what governors are up for re-election. I don't know if it's like a specific batch of them or if it's all of them. But I think Texas is going to be a close call. I think Georgia's going to turn blue, like they did in the presidential election. Georgia was a bit of a shocking one for me. I didn't actually think they were going to turn blue for both. Like
the federal election.
Yeah, the federal election, and then like the Senate. I didn't think they were gonna turn blue. I was like, I thought it was gonna be close, but I was like, I thought there was a better chance of North Carolina turning blue than fucking Georgia.
What do we have for runtime?
Hour 20.
We should move on
to our last fucking topic of the episode. Oh God, where is it? Oh, there it is.
It's gonna be the whole
Afghanistan withdrawal,
the war that wouldn't end in Afghanistan, and the fallout of the withdrawal of the United States. I don't know where you want to start with this one.
I feel like we can mutually agree that like the execution of it was pretty bad.
Yes, I have a theory about that.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that it was bipartisan politics that caused that. I think that.
Oh yeah,
and I don't think that it was necessarily that like. It was intended, but I think that it was a Republican decision that was executed by the Democrats. So therefore they weren't super invested in it.
I agree.
Biden and them probably had their own feelings about whether or not they should be doing it, when they should be doing it, how they should be doing it. Because one of the videos I saw, they're saying that the main base, I don't want to say this wrong, but July 4th, the USA abandoned the main Bagram Air Base, and Afghan forces weren't notified. So
yes.
It was like, overnight, they were just gone.
So I read about this, and it was basically Trump invited the Taliban to Camp David for the anniversary of 9/11 as like a peace deal. But this was basically like a withdrawal agreement. And where is it? So it was a complete departure of U.S. troops from from Afghanistan or whatever, by May of 2021. The Afghan government wasn't even consulted. They had no idea. So it's like, oh yeah, it's a dual party system, and we're just not going to tell one party about it. Yeah. And that girl, like people are like, oh, like Trump, like bitch, this would have literally happened under Trump. The exact same thing would have happened under Trump.
But the thing is, though, is it's a bad look because now Biden's playing the blame game. He's blaming it on the Afghan government.
Yeah.
I heard him say that. Like, he's saying, we trained you, you didn't fight. That's what he's saying. And it's just a bad look. It's
Because
a
like they weren't
really
even, they
bad look.
literally had no idea about
They
it.
had no idea. And I also heard that, and this is from Al Jazeera, they're saying that uh, Afghan forces outnumbered Taliban fighters, like I think it was 3-1 or 4-1. And they just like they're saying most of the time they 4-1. They just laid their guns down because they're like, well, we'd rather just beg for leniency than to fight.
Yeah.
But apparently, when the states left that base overnight was when the Taliban got really aggressive, and they're saying that they did a great job of exercising psychological warfare because the Afghan forces thought the Taliban were stronger and more in numbers than they actually were.
Yeah, it's just like 20 years. It's like a 20-year war that we were there for. Over $2 trillion fucking dollars. Sorry, I'm not saying we. I say we as in the fucking US, even though I'm not.
$80 billion training Afghan forces.
Yes.
By the Americans.
Mm-hmm. And it's just like
billion.
Literally, like as soon as we leave, there's a full Taliban takeover. As soon. And also, fun fact, in 2018, Trump released 5,000 Taliban prisoners, including, this guy has a longer name, but this is the name that popped up, and I don't know, I'm going to butcher the hell out of it. Mullah Baradar, he has a longer name, whatever. And he's literally now set to become the president of Afghanistan under Taliban rule. Like, what?
Did you know, and this is probably going to be a common thread when we talk about a lot of like situations like this in later episodes. Did you know the Taliban was CIA funded in the 80s?
Mm-hmm. I read about that. I literally read like
they were fighting,
hours earlier.
They were fighting the Red Curtain. The Soviets were trying to take Afghanistan.
Yes, I read about that. It was fucking Reagan. It was Reagan that funded it, and he funded U.S. troops to go out and assist Afghan against Soviet rule.
Do you know how many monsters the U.S. spawned through the whole like fighting of the Iron Curtain in the 80s?
Apparently, there was this, I don't know if it's a conspiracy or this like suggestion or whatever, and it was basically the early rising of Al-Qaeda was funded by Reagan.
Not Obama. Bin Laden was CIA funded.
And then I think like there were 3 people of like relevant, like, I don't know, relevant like political structure or whatever. It was like 2 FBI people and then 1 CIA agent that like came out and be like, oh no, like this doesn't really make any sense, blah blah blah. And it's just like it actually kind of does. But
I watched this video on the Taliban. They're like a multi-billion-dollar organization. Like they have income from real estate, from agriculture, from drug trade, from donations. So like the thing is, when they weren't in Afghanistan, they were making billions of dollars every year.
Yeah.
But,
and then like it's just funny because like we're now seeing that Republicans are aligning themselves more with the Taliban than their own U.S. troops, and like I just don't understand like the feeling of being like, oh, you know, like this was staged so horribly, which I mean it was. And having so much like remorse and feeling for Afghan civilians, and then not being in favor of bringing them like here.
Yeah, 100%.
Or to the U.S. or even to Canada, because Trudeau was talking about it too.
I saw this thing on CBC the other day. I think it was CBC, where there was this family of this interpreter that the Canadian government used, and they're trying to get this guy's family out. So what they did is they got him out, and right now he's living in Ukraine in a hotel. So they haven't heard shit from our government.
Yeah,
they're in a hotel. Their asylum visas through the Ukrainian government have expired, so they're afraid to go for a walk. If the cops stop them, they might get sent back to Afghanistan and killed. So they're like, our petition to seek asylum in Canada is still in the bureaucratic chain, and we haven't heard anything, and we still haven't heard anything. And like we can't hang people out to dry like this that help the government.
Exactly. But oh my God, I just I don't know, like, what would you say, like, because I'm trying to, like, think about how to, like, properly explain how this could have been conducted better. because like people are like, oh, you know,
I don't
like
think we're in a position to try to plan a military operation, but
we might be, Jordan.
I can just say when I noticed something was fucked, when something was completely botched.
Because a lot of people on the right are like, oh, well, bring the weapons home first, and then like bring fucking, what's it called? Like bring the U.S. civilians that are there or whatever. And
no,
it's just
I think what they could have done as a little bit of an easy fix where things wouldn't have gone as dry as much is just communicate with the bloody Afghan government. Hey, in 1 week we're leaving this base, so maybe when we leave, you should go there.
Yep. Like even like, oh my god, dude, like, like how? It's just so fucking, especially if you bring up the fact that it's like a 3-1 or 4-1 ratio of the fucking Afghan army versus the Taliban.
Yeah. Did you see that one person that fell from the plane?
Yes, the picture. There was like Did he die?
Oh, obviously.
Oh,
it's probably like
sorry.
Feet up. I mean, if he didn't die, like he should. I don't know, but he should be king of the world.
I didn't know how high up they were.
It was really high.
But yeah, I remember that picture went around, and I was like, holy fuck.
But I did a little bit of research too, like, because I heard a lot of Afghan women talking about like how afraid they were for the Taliban to take over.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what Sharia law is? Apparently, that's what the Taliban are trying to put in. So apparently, that's like the Islamic law that says that women can't, do a lot of things, and they have to wear certain things, and they can't go to school.
Yeah.
And they're generally seen as property of their spouses.
So basically, like Republican agendas. Yeah.
So apparently what the Taliban are saying now is they're trying to because international bodies aren't recognizing the Taliban as a governing body, right? But the Taliban, apparently they want to see it at at the UN, and that's something they want to work to. So they're saying that they want to respect women's rights within the framework of Sharia law. So apparently there's some cities that women are being allowed to go to school, but it depends on who the commanding officer in the city is. That's what Afghan women are saying. They're saying in some cities women are allowed to go to school.
Good Lord.
But yeah.
Good fucking Lord.
But you do know the main reason why the States went to Afghanistan in the first place, right?
What do you mean?
It was that basically the Taliban were helping to keep Obama. I keep saying Obama, Bin Laden, and Al Qaeda safe, and they weren't handing them over because the Taliban basically are like, "Do you have more proof? Like, we're not handing them over unless you have more proof." They're known to house
like from like the 9/11.
Yeah. So Taliban's known to house terrorist organizations and protect them. That's the main reason they went into Afghanistan. And then I think that it was such a strategic country to occupy, then everything sort of spiraled from there. Then it was Iran as well. Because they're saying this one video I watched, they're saying they were explaining the geographical location of it. Like, to occupy Afghanistan is beneficial to the States on so many levels because it's right in the middle of the Middle East, right in the middle. So they have access to all these different countries.
Yeah. 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 You know what also I find weird is left-leaning or even Democrats themselves. A lot of them agree that the execution of this plan was horrible and could have been a lot better. And obviously Republicans are opposed to it, but even if it was done perfectly, they would have been opposed to it. It's just interesting to find that a lot of Democrats or just people on the left criticize someone that's representing them, like Biden, for example. But if you're on the right, you're literally just full sheep to Trump, no matter what he does.
Not always, but I agree. That
majority.
It happens more on the left.
Majority,
yeah. I'm not it's like you said, I'm not a Biden fan, but I would still vote for him had I been an American.
Oh yeah, I'm just
but
I'm
that, that
not.
Is a good point. That is a good point. That is a good point.
I will never vote Republican ever, unless there's.
I don't want to say never. If there was some buffoon,
if there's a significant party switch there was way back
buffoon, when, if there was some big buffoon that was put up, I wouldn't vote Democrat. And the Canadian politics has shown that happens sometimes, where a party will just go with some someone that shouldn't be there.
O'Toole.
No, like I'm not. Look, O'Toole's in line with the Conservative Party. Like the ones I'm thinking of is like a few, maybe even a decade ago, the Liberals when they put up like Michael Ignatieff. That was a bad one, and like I think Dion was the other one. The Liberals put up those. I would never vote for either of those people.
The only reason that I don't think O'Toole fits with Conservatives, I don't really know where he would fit. In all honesty,
but
it's just on the basis
that would make you like him though. What you're about to say.
No. So like on the base, because like I don't know why politics has got like this now, but like your abortion stance or like your pro-life, pro-choice thing, that's for some reason extremely important. Like
yeah, but it's always been like that.
No, God no.
Oh, it has.
God no.
Why?
100% no. Absolutely not. Fucking even like your stance on like gay marriage wasn't as important as it is now.
Okay, I agree with you on that, but I think that's because it's the most accepted it's ever been before. So it wasn't really like a hot button issue before.
I don't think like either topic was really like talked about or like discussed. Like
I
say
think abortion
15 years ago. Oh God, no. 100% no. But like let's say 10, 15 years ago, it really wasn't even like on the table. Like, or it might have been as like a subset, but I think that it's just been so like heavily pushed into like modern society and like that being kind of like a preliminary requirement that you specifically state where you are in alignment to the party that you're representing's beliefs. So if you're conservative, you're pro-life. But when O'Toole came out and he was like, I'm pro-choice, even though he like flip-flopped back and forth to basically please his party.
I wouldn't even put any weight into him saying that because I've heard so many different things coming from him.
Mm-hmm. And then like his stand. What was the other one? What was the other big one from him that like was surprising? I can't fucking remember what it wasn't anything on like gay rights or conversion therapy because all fucking conservative. They put like a survey and all conservatives said that. Or no, was it all conservatives? There's a significant amount of conservatives. They said that conversion therapy should be like a thing because it prevents parents from having the hard discussion with their children. Yeah. Oh, I'm 100% sure.
That seems quite backwards.
100 for conservatives?
Like for today and age? Yeah.
For conservatives though?
Okay. The thing is though, okay, here's the thing. Like, you know, like that vote compass thing we did?
Yes.
Like if you were to put the American Republican Party on that graph, the American Republic Party is way more conservative than the Canadian Conservatives.
Yes, I agree.
Right?
I agree.
I think that the answer to the question is yes, even as a conservative, because they're more like center right than they are like.
So you'd say would you vote for like a like an American Republican ever?
It depends. It depends who the candidate is. I can't think of an American Republican that I've liked, to be honest with you. I'm trying to think of like presidential candidates. No, I can't think of one. I wasn't really a George Bush fan.
I just feel like with current like conservative mindsets, like if you're against it, you're basically not a conservative. That's how you're viewed like in the party itself. It's like if you're against the main mindsets that a conservative should have, you're not conservative and you should be running for a different party.
But isn't that true for every party that's ever existed? And it's actually a good
that's why like that's why I align more with like the NDP or the Liberals.
But I actually wanted to talk about this, and that's a good segue. Okay, so that's why I think the political system in North America and in general is I don't like it, is because like, so if you're there isn't a party that fits everybody's beliefs perfectly, right?
Yeah.
So if you support X party, there's certain systems that you're negotiating with, that you're saying, okay, well, I don't agree with this, but this is the closest thing that fits, and I don't think that that's right.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Canadian, Canadian politics, or like the Canadian election system is it's structured a lot better than the U.S. as there's many more options.
Yes.
Like there's even I think, how many main ones are there? There's the Green Party, the NDP, Liberals,
Would you consider
Conservative.
Green a main one though?
Well, like it's talked about more so than the others.
For me, the main ones are Conservative, Liberal, NDP, and Bloc. That's it.
Yeah. I just think of like people like because like there are others that are even listed. I think I saw like a total of like fucking 25, 30. But like I'm thinking about people that are invited to do like debates, So like, I don't even know if the PPC, the guy from Max Bernier, I don't know if he was invited to do any debates because like the
he
debate
wasn't
that
invited
was
to the English speaking
yeah,
one. That's
I
the
was
only
gonna
one
say
I
yeah,
watched.
the debate that we watched was the English speaking one, and he wasn't invited to it. But yeah, like Annamie Paul was there, and of course, you know, she was the leader of the Green Party. But that's just like who I think of initially when I think of like Canadian politics. That's not a thing really in the States. It's literally just like Democratic or Republican.
And
Like
Kanye West.
Harambe. Wait, is it Harambe? Is that the fucking gorilla's
Harambe
name?
was the monkey.
Gorilla.
Harambe was running for president?
They got votes. The gorilla got votes by some people. And
Oh,
it was
like
like talked about.
You can do like a write-in vote for
I
someone
think
who's
so.
not
I
running?
think Bernie Sanders got one in place of Hillary in fucking Washington. I'm pretty sure.
Oh man, Bernie would have been such a good prez.
So good. I
Why
really
couldn't he win his
wish.
primary?
I don't know. I think it's just because people were more familiar with Biden being like there, and like they were like, it's the thing. Like Bernie's already lost against Hillary. They were like, he has no chance. If he lost against Hillary, then he's not going to win against Donald Trump.
You know what I heard someone say? I don't want to. I think I know who it is on YouTube, but I don't want to say just in case it wasn't. But
Okay.
they're saying that the reason they don't think he won the primary is because the wealthy left wing were afraid that he was going to give away all their money because they all think he's a socialist, right? That could be it.
Could be 100%. I think like it's just. I mean, that's probably definitely like a reason why there were wealthy left wings that didn't vote for Bernie Sanders. But do you think he'll run again ever?
No, I think he's too old.
Yeah,
he's too old. You ever watched him on Rogan? He's been on there a couple times.
I don't watch Rogan.
All right, you should watch them. They're really good. Like the Sanders ones. He's really smart. You know who he just had on Rogan?
Who?
Today? Sanjay Gupta.
Why is that name familiar?
He's that doctor.
Okay, it is okay, I was gonna say doctor.
Yeah. I want to watch that.
But yeah, oh my god, Bernie Sanders would have been amazing.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Should we end it now?
Should we?
Are you gonna do like a daily question? Do you have one?
Oh yeah. Weren't we just gonna do like a new, what is it, a song and then a celebrity crush?
Didn't we do that last week?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like we could just do like refresh it and like just choose new things.
That's lame.
Okay, well, fine. You choose a daily thing, or sorry, a thing of the session, and then I'll choose a thing of the session. So we do 2 per session. So what should?
Okay, I got it.
Okay, what's yours?
So current favorite show of all time.
Favorite show of all time, Family Guy.
Okay.
Without a doubt. Current favorite?
Mm-hmm.
That's hard. There's been like there's been good shows like on like Netflix or whatever, but like current favorite, that's like I need to choose just one, bitch. Do you have one? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So favorite show of all time, that's really fucking hard. God damn it. I'm gonna go. This will probably change. I'm gonna go Game of Thrones, and then current favorite show I'm gonna go because I stayed up last night and watched it is You.
Game of Thrones? Really? I
just can't think of a show
forehead
where I like set aside time to watch it and like turned my phone off and like changed like turned the lights off. Like I just can't think of a show I ever did that for other than that one.
Okay. And then You is your current favorite?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, current's my second all-time favorite TV show. But the reason that it's current, okay, so my current is Grey's Anatomy because I feel like recently I've been watching it a bit more because like seasons 8 through 10 for me are fucking prime Grey's Anatomy. That was good fucking TV. But like, okay, you know what? This isn't a spoiler alert. I don't give a fuck. Addison returns this season. Kate Walsh's character, she returns this season. And like I watched a couple scenes of like, you know, the episode that she returns in. It's just so like wholesome and it's really cool, and it kind of like makes me think back to like the good old Grey's days where like everyone was together. And so I feel like that is a good. Okay, now it's my Let's do current favorite movie and all-time favorite movie.
So sorry, you said Grey's Anatomy and Family Guy. Okay.
Grey's Anatomy, current, Family Guy, all-time.
Yeah. Okay. So current favorite movie of all time. Okay. So current favorite movie is The Guilty with Jake Gyllenhaal off Netflix. So fucking good. Favorite of all time, Fight Club, without a question. Go.
What's the number one rule of Fight Club?
You don't talk about Fight Club. What's the number two rule of Fight Club?
You don't talk about Fight Club.
Correct.
Oh, is that really?
Yeah.
That was like a 70% guess. Like I wasn't too sure. My current favorite movie is Polar Express because I'm very much in the Christmas mood, and that's my all-time favorite Christmas movie.
Dude, it's October 15th.
That sucks. Jordan, stop saying the dates. We're freaking uploading in like a week and a half. We don't need people to see that we're uploading like 10 days after.
Okay, I won't do that anymore.
Jeez. But... No, I don't really care. I don't care at all.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that would be my current favorite. All-time favorite. What's my all-time favorite, Jordan? I've told you this like 3 fucking times.
Firebird.
No. Oh, wait, that's such a good one. Okay, wait. I take back Polar Express.
Just change
we'll,
You don't even... I know you better than you know yourself.
We'll take back... I wasn't even thinking about Firebird. We'll take back Polar Express and we'll revisit this topic in December, and Polar Express will be my number one.
Favorite movie of all time for you?
Current favorite is Firebird. That movie is so fucking good. It's a new release. You guys will probably be able to find it on like a third-party site that's like illegal to download it from, but it's so good. I recommend it 100%. I think they're coming out with the movie on like DVD and whatever, maybe like on like some well-known sites, maybe on YouTube in like a month and a half, like sometime in November. But yes, I have said my favorite movie like multiple times to you.
I literally can't think of it.
Okay, my biggest hint to you is it's animated.
Toy Story.
No.
Oh, I know.
What is it?
Incredible.
Yes.
Yes.
What do you mean yes? I literally gave you the biggest hint. That it's animated.
I'd like to thank my mother, my father.
Fuck you. That literally... fucking like that's such like a small selection in terms of like fucking the general population of movies. I mean, I would have never guessed Fight Club, and the only way that I would have guessed The Guilty is if you were like, I've mentioned this on this episode.
Dude, I literally mentioned that movie to you an hour ago.
Yeah, that's why if you said The Guilty, like if that was your hint, was like I mentioned this to you
because then you said Jake Gyllenhaal wasn't attractive, and I almost hit you. I almost broke my computer.
I don't think he's as attractive as people say he is. But he's still like good looking. He's fine.
Have you ever seen Prisoner? With like Hugh Jackman in him?
Yes.
So he's in that he plays like this angsty cop, and he's got like the slicked back like Brad Pitt, and he's got the neck tattoo. Mm-hmm. Oh man.
Yeah, he's hot in there.
And he keeps throwing like these temper tantrums. Like if a woman, like I could see what a woman would
remember when we were talking about the romanticizing of like serial killers and like killers? We never really answered the question of like why we think it.
Because there isn't an answer.
Well, like, why do you think they're looked at as hot? Do you think like the fact that like they're so like controlling and like manly?
I don't think they're looked at as hot. I think that's weird.
I love how I'm like, they're manly. Well, what makes them manly? Well, they've killed somebody, so they're manly.
Well, you know what? Actually, Rogan talked about that.
Really?
He talked about that with a guest. They're saying that like they have a theory, and I forget if the person was a scientist, that there's like a long ago genetic trait where like a woman is low-key attracted to somebody who's killed somebody because like that's an evolutionary
because they want
trait.
him to murder her pussy.
No.
I mean,
because like if you killed somebody, then like if you have kids with this person, then they're more likely to protect your family.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
That's like they're saying that's like a Neanderthal like sort of like
view
attraction
or like
trait that hasn't worked its way out of our genetic code.
But yeah, anyways, thanks guys for watching. But I hope you guys enjoyed. We will hopefully catch you guys next week when we, I don't know, talk about whatever the fuck we talk about. But yeah, catch you guys next week. Bye. Okay, bye.